Well, this was a show. I'm Bischoff. I'm back here with another video, and today I'm going to be reviewing Smackdown along with my Fastlane 2021 predictions. Sorry I didn't get this video out yesterday. I had to help around the house, and my room got changed. So, yeah, and I don't have a door, so if you hear background noise, I'm sorry. My door got taken off, and we're waiting for the new one to come in, so... Well, not wasting any time, this show wasn't bad. It had its moments, but for the most part, it was just kind of there. And setting up stuff for Fastlane. And, well, I'll talk about the matches that are going to be happening at Fastlane as well, along my predictions. So, we kick off the show with Banks and Belair arguing like an old couple. Very badly mad backstage. Banks versus Jax with her superior immune system, along with, Baszler, Smackdown Women's title. Why? This did not... Why does Jax have to have a women's title match? I don't get it. And also, if you hear... Okay, wait, I'm sorry. Again, no door. Anyway, Bianca shows up. The match wasn't terrible, but Banks really had to carry Jax because Jax can't work to save her life. Accidental kick by Baszler. It was odd. Like it kind of got a little screwy, a little botchy, because Belair was chasing Baszler and they both got in the ring, but the ref got distracted by Bianca, and Shayna went to go kick Banks, but accidentally kicked Nia, and then Jackknife cover 1, 2, 3. Okay, Banks retains. And then we get a recap of whole Daniel Bryan, Edge, and Roman situation. Edge backstage, he says whoever's going to walk out of Fastlane as champion, I will beat them at Mania. That's essentially what that's the whole thing about the promo. Rollins comes down. Then we get a clip of Edge and Hulk Hogan winning the tag titles from 2002. July 4th on Smackdown, I believe. They won it from Billy and Chuck, who are a pretty underrated tag team, if I would say. And yeah, Hulk Hogan, and I'm going to get to Hogan here in a second. Hogan retires from Mania host. Considering that Hogan's, history with the brother's brother, he's probably going to have more than a little flattery commentary on the Titus. And why is Hogan there? I get it. I get why Hogan's there. For a while, he was Mr. WrestleMania. And it's the way to get crowds into it. But come on. Why? You're hooking up Hulk Hogan with a black guy. That's not going to go well. And Hogan's an idiot. But I can respect for what Hogan did for the wrestling business, even though he's kind of butchered it for the past number of years. Anyways, Jax and Belair, they argue backstage, and Jackson Baszler, I'm sorry. Baszler says she's going to take off Bianca's head. More on that later. Rollins talks about Cesaro. And then Nakamura comes down, tells him to shut up, and then Rollins tries to hit Nakamura, but Nakamura attacks, and then Kinshasa. Okay. Eric Bischoff in the Hall of Fame. That's going to be interesting, considering Eric Bischoff was last seen on wrestling television on Dynamite. What was it, like June of last year? I'm pretty sure. So that's interesting. I do like Eric, even though that some of his views are a little bit nonsensical. But for the most part, I can respect Bischoff for all the nonsense and bullcrap he's went through for the past 20 years of wrestling. Then we get Street Profits versus the Mysterios. Rude and Ziggler on commentary. Match was okay. Mysterios win after a roll-up by Dominic. And then Otis and Gable show up. They talk trash, and a big schmoz goes all over the place. And then we get Mysterios versus Gable and Otis. Street Profits doing commentary. actually being serious for once. That was interesting. They weren't as loud, as obnoxious as they usually are. So if they do a little more than that, then I wouldn't mind them so much. It was okay, I guess. Top rope splash or second rope splash by Otis 1-2-3. That's how thin the tag division is. And then Zayn is backstage, and then Owen shows up. He's basically saying that see any conspiracy theories going wrong, and talk about Logan Paul. It's at this point I'm questioning why WWE is still doing celebrity involvement. Logan Paul, one of the most toxic individuals I have ever seen in my life. Both him and his brother are complete morons, and if you don't know, and the majority of you should know, for those of you who've been living on rock over, I don't know, like 5 years, Logan Paul shot a video in the Suicide Force in Japan and made a joke about it. Every time I hear somebody defend it, I get aggravated. There's no defending that. There's no defending making a joke about people who killed themselves. Just baffling. And also, The Force, by the way, that Japan movie, or that movie that was part of the Suicide Force, yeah, that movie sucked. Which was a shame because it could have worked. But anyways, moral of the story, Logan Paul, the whole Paul family, are complete morons. Anyways, we get a clip of Edge cashing in on Taker back in 2007 after Taker faced Batista in a steel cage, and then Mark Henry beat him up, and then Edge cashed in. That was a pretty cool moment. And Edge won the Money Big briefcase from Mr. Kennedy on Raw because of Kennedy had I think he had a wellness policy or a wellness violation, or no, this is where he got hurt, and he was supposed to be the illegitimate son, but he had that wellness violation. So Bryan's in the ring, says he'll tap out Roman. Reigns is here. He said he'd rather lose an arm than tap to a man like Daniel. That was pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. And then Bryan says he's gonna win if it's the last thing he does. That's essentially the thing. Zayn versus Corbin, the video package was kind of funny. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know if it was to troll the fans or they were just being honest. Owens is on commentary. This went on for like 3 minutes. End of days 1, 2, 3, and Zayn was looking in the corner to see if there's any conspiracies going on and all that stuff. So yeah, and then a Hula kick to Owens. We're probably gonna get that match at Mania, even though they face off like 20 times. Split screen interview with Apollo and Biggie. This was odd. Apparently Apollo has a weird Nigerian Irish accent. I don't get that. Why does Apollo need an accent? He's fine the way he talks. That's nothing against Apollo. I just don't understand the thing with the accent. But anyways, Biggie sounded a bit off, but he was pretty energetic. Biggie doesn't want to wait till Sunday. Then he gets in a golf cart and he's like, "I'm about to beat your ass." So I don't know why that was funny to me. And then a brawl ensues. Biggie just basically beats the crap out of Apollo. And then and then Apollo drives off. I don't know why. That segment was just kind of funny to me. Belair versus Baszler. Banks shows up and then leaves. Goes on for a little bit, and then Talia and Snuka attack. But Snuka are around 3 women. What's going to happen? Tune in next week on Dr. Phil. Anyways, so yeah, they were wanting the tag title shot. I don't know why. Because the women's tag division is kind of, it's non-existent, even though there's some talent I acknowledge. We get a clip of Edge's retirement. Even though he retired on Raw, he just relinquished the title on Smackdown. That was still a pretty emotional moment. It's very weird how it's actually 10 years ago. That's pretty interesting. Edge versus Uso, Daniel Bryan on commentary. Whoever wins the match will be the enforcer against for Bryan and Roman at Fastlane. Match was fine. Match was pretty good. Edge did a Hurricane Rana off the top rope. You have a bad neck, sir. We don't want you to break it. Edge wins, and then Roman attacks. There's a big ambush. Spear to Edge, and Spear to Reigns. Cut, fade to black. Okay. Not a bad show. It was just kind of there, but there's some storylines going into Fastlane. Now, with that out of the way, let's get to my Fastlane predictions. There was a match that got left off the card, and they're saving that for Mania. It was supposed to be Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon, but they're probably going to be doing a segment with that. There was a match that was added. It's Ollie versus Riddle for the U.S. title. This is a rematch from what happened last Monday. I wouldn't mind seeing Ollie win a title, but they're probably going to keep it on Riddle. So yeah, I have Ollie winning, but they're probably going to put it on Riddle. They're going to keep it on him. Cruz versus Biggie. I like both men. This could be a very good match. I would say let Biggie win, and then Apollo will get his big moment at Mania. So I'd say I'll go with Biggie, but if Cruz wins, I wouldn't be against it. I just think that if they save it for Mania, it could be in front of a pretty big crowd. It could be a big moment for Apollo. Bliss versus Orton in an intergender match. Oh dear. The Fiend's going to show up, and then they're going to set up a match at Mania, most likely. No punches or no punches, no kicks, no anything. It's probably just going to be a bunch of stalling. That's Stalingrad. Anyways, Jackson Baszler versus Banks and Belair for the women's tag titles. It's gonna be Jackson Baszler. There's no reason for Banks and Belair to win the titles. By the way, I forgot to mention, Belair had diamond heart-shaped earrings. Those look pretty cool. So yeah, Belair and Banks are gonna lose. Nakamura versus Rollins. I also forgot to mention, Rollins has questionable fashion design. Like, it looked like the shirt and the pants he was wearing, it looked like they were white pants, and then he accidentally splashed paint on them, like blue paint. It was very odd, but I don't get Rollins sometimes. I expect this could be a pretty good match. I do remember their match from Survivor Series 2018. That was a pretty fun match. I really enjoyed that match. I give this like 10-15 minutes. They can beat the hell out of each other. So I'm going to go with Rollins. I don't mind Nakamura, but they're most likely going to set up a match between Rollins and Cesaro at Mania, which would be a very good match. McIntyre versus Sheamus no holds barred match. I mentioned this before when I talked to a few people. I would have let it be a last man standing match because McIntyre won their first encounter on Raw, and then it was a no DQ match where Sheamus and McIntyre collided with the steel steps, and McIntyre took that odd bump off on the outside over the barricade, and that was a no contest. But I'm going to give this to McIntyre. Even though Sheamus winning I wouldn't be against, but I feel like he might sneak his way into the title picture at Mania when McIntyre takes on Lashley. And then we get Bryan versus Reigns Universal title. Edge is special guest enforcer. There's going to be a lot of shenanigans involved. Usos most likely going to get involved. I have Roman winning because Roman shouldn't be losing the title. Like, I'd say let him have a year run. And then maybe he can drop the title to maybe somebody at, I don't know, Survivor Series or something like that. But this could be a very good match. I remember their match from 6 years ago, 2015, Roman versus Bryan. That was a very good match. And the winner got a number one contender spot against Brock at Mania 31. That was a very fun match. I remember that. But I think Edge's involvement might cost Bryan the title. And maybe, Bryan's going to find his way to get into the title picture at Mania. So, yeah, that's all I have to say here, folks. And again, if you hear echoing and stuff in the background, I'm sorry. I don't have a door. But anyways, what did you guys think of this episode of SmackDown? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you thought it was meh? Did you think it was okay? Who knows? And what are your predictions for Fastlane 2021? Let me know down in the comment section. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe. Join the herd. Muscle Basics. Join the herd. I already said that already, but I messed up my outro. Talk to you guys later. Peace.